Hi guys, welcome back. So last week was my son's second birthday and I had a TwoFast themed birthday for him. And then of course, because my soapy head only thinks about soap, I thought to myself, you know what? You can make this into a soap. And so I decided to make this soap that I'm going to show you guys. So first of all, we start with measuring out my hard oils. As usual, you already know that there's gonna be shea butter, so I'm gonna measure out my shea butter, lard, and coconut oil. Next, I'll measure out my distilled water, and then in a separate bowl, I'll measure out my lye. Then you'll see that before I combine my lye with my water, I first of all add some citric acid into the water to dissolve that, and then I go ahead and mix the lye with the water. And always remember that you do not mix water into lye, you mix lye into water. I've said this in a couple of videos, but I just feel the need to reiterate. So now I'm going to be pouring in some citric acid. As you can see there, I usually use citric acid at about 1.5%. That's just a preference, and that's 1.5% per pound of oils. You'll notice I make sure it dissolves completely. I make sure that all of the lye is dissolved in the water. Then I'm gonna go ahead and do the heat transfer method, and that is, as you're gonna see in a second, I'm going to use the lye water to melt down my hard oils. Now, when I do the heat transfer method, I like to add my soft oils after I have dissolved the hard oils. That just helps to bring the temperature of everything down a little bit. So now I'm adding my olive oil, and then I'm gonna add some castor oil before I then stick blend. And here I'm just adding some sodium lactate because I didn't add that to my lye water, and I just feel you can add it at any point really, so I added it now. So I stick blend until I reach an emulsion, and then I divide my batter into two because I'm going to be coloring my batter red and black, and you're going to see that soon. But yeah, so I'll divide it into two, and nothing too fancy. I'm using activated charcoal and then a mineral mica color to color the red, and then the charcoal for the black. And I already dispersed my colors in some olive oil. Actually, I used some almond oil here, and I used my colors at 1.5 teaspoons per pound of oil. Now I'm adding my fragrance oil that's already been mixed with some kaolin clay. So this is the end of the first part of this soap, and I left it for 24 hours, and now this is 24 hours later, and I'm gonna be continuing with the part 2 of this soap. Yes, it took me about 2 days to make this soap. Now I'm just cutting the rectangles so you guys will see when I'm done cutting what I'm going to use this for, because this is going to make my TwoFast pattern. So I'm just going to have to cut them out in rectangles, and I cut the red bits in big rectangles and the black in small rectangles. And here is this little bar of soap that I've just decided to gift to my husband, so I'm not cutting that one. But now you can see that I cut the black part of the soap much smaller because I wanted smaller rectangles to form the checkered parts of the TwoFast theme. Once that is done, I'll go ahead and line them up in the mold. And you know, when I made my disaster that you guys are gonna see, I started thinking of ways that I could have avoided the disaster, and if you wait till the end, I'm going to tell you guys what I think I should have done, you know, a little differently from this. Or, you know, I just feel like there were certain things I could have done differently, so I'm going to let you guys know. But for now, this was the method I had thought of and I expected to work. And as we know, soap making, you can think of something and you will get a completely different result. It always happens to every soap maker. We just try to embrace our soaps, even with the mistakes that we make, and just learn from our mistakes. So now I've just lined up all of the embeds to form the check pattern, and I'm gonna now go ahead and make a new soap batter. And I made excess soap butter just so I would have enough to play with, because I didn't really measure the, should I call them embeds, and I didn't really know how much, so I had, you know, a lot of soap butter. However, I used a fast moving recipe that went pretty fast on me. And the one thing I blame, because I try not to blame recipes, I know for a fact that these stick blenders that we use are the biggest culprit. So here's what happened. Just look there. All of the things I had suffered to line up literally started falling because my trace was a little too thick. So yeah, I think we're there now at the point where I should be telling you guys what I shouldn't have done. I definitely should not have had a thick trace. I should have had a really light trace, and that was like my first mistake. And I was just there trying to struggle with this thing and thinking, is it going to get into the corners of the red one, like the red bits, because I wanted like little tiny lines in between the reds. And I was just getting really unhappy at this point, and I said, you know what, let everything just fall. So I actually left them to just, you know, see, I just kind of left them to do whatever, because I was just really upset at this point. And you can see that I was still struggling, and my gloves were it was a mess. So what I did, I let everything just flow, and then I rearranged them after I finished pouring, because I figured that was the only thing I could do to stop my trace, because my trace was still getting thicker as it was sitting there. So that was just the best thing to do. And another thing I could have done differently was, when my trace, if I knew actually that my trace was going to be so thick, I would have kept the embeds and poured the white batter, and then lined everything by hand one by one after pouring the batter. So those were the two methods I could have used to approach this. Either line the embeds afterwards or have a really light trace. I don't know which one. What you guys tell me, like comment below. What do you think I could have done differently here? Do you think the first method would have been better? Like, I think I'm losing you guys. Okay, so do you think if I had poured a light trace, it would have been better? Or do you think if I had aligned, like if I had put in the embeds after pouring the trace, it would have been better? Anyways, I was able to salvage it while rushing, because as you guys could see in the container to my lower left, I still had quite a lot of batter to work with, because I was making a separate soap. Yeah, I made 2 soaps on this day. And I think my son is coming in right now. He's crying, he's looking for me. But right, yeah. So yeah, I was able to make it work. I arranged everything back as best as I could. It wasn't perfect, but it still like gave me what I had imagined, and I was quite happy with it. I know that if I have to make this soap again, I definitely will do much better, but I was really, really pleased with the outcome in the end. And now here's the cutting. I had to cut them down in chunks before like filing off the top, so it was just, you know, I was still quite pleased. You guys let me know, are you pleased with it? Do you like the results? But I still felt that it still turned out okay. So yeah. So guys, my son has come to join me, so if you hear his voice, just know that he's here with me. So right now I'm just cutting the soap up, and we're gonna reveal what it looks like in a second, though you guys have already seen the picture. But yeah, so there's the first one I saw, and I was like, not too bad, not too bad. Although I wasn't very pleased with how I lined those black bits, but you know, I literally had to just give myself a pat on the back, because I knew what I went through when I was making it. It was just so messy, and a little disappointing at the point when I poured that thick trace, or should I say medium, because it was actually a medium trace, but it was just too, it shouldn't have been a medium trace. Anyways guys, so what do you guys think? Do you think this was a hit or a miss? Leave a comment below and let me know, please, if it was a hit or a miss with the theme. So that is it guys, this is my TwoFast themed soap. I hope you guys enjoyed making this soap with me. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, it really does help me grow. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching it, and please make sure to comment, leave me a comment. These things help to motivate us content creators. So yeah, and share it with your friends, family, and anybody else that you think might enjoy or benefit from this. Until next time guys, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.